8 o'clock. Let's call the North Cooch Area Sanitary District meeting to order. Let the record show the people in attendance. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, a motion would be in order to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. We have the minutes of October 18th, 2022. Motion would be in order for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Are any corrections, changes? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have the November disbursements of $86,581.51. A motion would be in order for approval.
Move to approve the
Expenses.
expenses. Disbursements.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Moving down the agenda, the financial reports, budget versus actual, checking savings and investments, income expenses, and previous year comparison. Are there any questions or comments? There being none, these reports will be put on file for our auditors. Staff and committee reports.
Good morning, Sewer District.
Greg?
Hi, Bob.
Only one
When
way.
you phoned, I was like, oh, I must have missed it.
Go ahead.
I let you in.
All right,
Thanks, bye.
Mr. Chairman, board members. Just a couple things here. I did mention last time about the pump and stuff we're waiting on for the chlorine contact tank lift station. We did receive that. That's been installed. Our chlorine contact tanks now have been drained and cleaned and inspected to go into the winter. We also have the chlorination system is all shut down until April 1st next spring. So everything as far as chlorination is all shut down until then. Hawkins was here, took all our cylinders back with them. We usually always kept our cylinders in storage down there, but now if we have them in storage for over 30 days, they're charging us a fee to store them here. So they came back and picked them all up. So we'll just order what we need in the spring and take it from there. I don't understand that either. It's just kind of, they charge for it. That's why now we really watch it with the cylinders. So when we get new ones, we rotate them. Because they got the numbers off of them and they charge us a fee if they've been there for over 30 days.
They should pay you to store them there.
Yeah, they should.
And you don't have to store them. That makes sense, but
It showed in the disbursements in the budget, $20,000, I think, something like that for clarifier. Was that done or
For what?
clarifier repairs or? I don't know. I just remember seeing that someplace, and I was just wondering maybe if that's what Kelly was talking about when things are out of whack. But you didn't do any major clarifier work?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think looks like on line 460.18, it was budgeted, but nothing's been used.
oh yeah, that's what it was.
Nothing major on the clarifiers yet, right now, no. Okay.
All right.
Also, our lab certification for 2023, that renewal is due by the end of the month, and we're going to get that submitted probably this week or next week. So we renew our lab certification for 2023 with the MPCA, and that'll be completed. Also, a while back, we had our inspection from Nkasd. She called yesterday And she just had a few more questions regarding some of our stuff in our lab, our equipment in our lab, that we have to get some information for her. Some model numbers and different things on our pH meter, and nothing major. But she's almost got the report completed, and as soon as it's completed, she's going to submit it to us. That was her inspection report, that when she came through the plant and looked at everything and inspected the plant and the ponds. And so she's coming up with a report on that. She did also bring up, remember I brought up about chlorinating the bypass at EQ. She said as far as they discussed that and they want us to continue to chlorinate any bypass at EQ at least through this permit cycle. And then the next permit cycle, they'll relook at it. She did find one other community that chlorinates their bypass, and I think that was in Two Harbors. So they would like us to continue to chlorinate our bypass at EQ when we're bypassing there, at least through this permit cycle. So maybe the next time around, we won't have to do it. I don't know. We'll just have to cross that when it comes. At the end of October there, we had all our flow meters calibrated and all of them were in compliance. We were having a few issues with our pond effluent flow meter. That was kind of out of whack there, more than 10%, but we figured that out. So now they're all calibrated and they're all within compliance. And the last thing is this, we'll be ordering, this week we'll be ordering our samples for the DMRQA study. That comes quick every year. We have to participate in the DMRQA study. That opens next May. We order all our stuff in the fall. Like right now, we get all our samples ordered so it's ready to go, and then they'll ship them up to us in the spring, and we'll participate in that DMRQA study.
Did you buy a new influence sampler?
Influence sampler? No.
Sample?
We bought an influence sample pump
Oh, I see.
from General Repair, that Gorman Rupp.
Oh, okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
Any questions for Greg? There being done? Haley?
Do we want to skip to Jason and Bob, SEH? They both just joined us. Bob?
Okay.
And Jason's there as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let Bob talk at this point since I'm traveling.
Okay, well, it's good to see everybody again. We had the bid opening for the EQ Basin project on Thursday of last week. We only had one bidder that bid on it, and it was MTech, which is an electrical firm, and they bid with Magni Construction to do the mechanical work, which is essentially replacing the screen. I had contacted the screen manufacturer. We had specified about a week and a half before the bid opening just to make sure everything was okay time-wise, and they gave me the heads up that everything was good. Well, then when we opened the bid, the high bid was the only bid was $634,000 against our estimate of $370,000. So right away I called the contractor up just to see what happened, and he had indicated that there was delivery time problems with the screen and with some of the electrical equipment, and that they had to get alternative manufacturers. There was also a confusion from the instrumentation and control contractor. We had indicated that the district had preferred to use preferred controls, and that was going to be kind of worked out on the fly, but he included a $40,000 price to do that work, and it's nowhere near that much work. So based on that, I'm pretty confident if we rebid this and had a completion time for 1 year rather than 6 months, we would be right in with our estimate. We'd probably get more contractors to bid on it. So based on that, it's our recommendation that the bid be rejected and that we be authorized to re-advertise, and I'll change the completion date from a year, from 6 months out to a year. And like I say, I'm pretty confident. I know the prices will come in a lot lower than they are now, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty close to our estimate.
I vote to reject the bid.
Just ask concurrence on that, and then we'll proceed and get it done.
We have a motion on the table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
What,
Is there
what
any
was the
fur-
motion and second for?
I move to reject the bids
Rebid.
and rebid it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Any other questions? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so ordered.
Okay.
Aye, Bob.
I'll do my best to get this re-advertised by the end of this week. And if I can't make it, it'll be the first part of next week, but we'll keep it rolling as fast as we can.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Then
Thank
Bob,
you.
Bob, would you want to, or could you send me the new dates, you know, the timeline?
Yes,
Okay,
I will do that.
all right. Did you or Jason have anything else for us?
Maybe, Callie, you and I should talk before we set a date, and then we can work it in with the board schedule.
Sure.
I'll call you later on in the week, then we'll work it out.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Kayla, do you have a report?
Yeah.
One question, do we need board approval to do this? And once he comes up with the dates, we don't need board approval again, do we?
No, I just
Then we can
want
just-
to know the dates so that
Yeah.
I'm aware of them. I can
Okay.
mark the calendar and even the guys know
Yeah.
too.
Just so we don't need board approval for that, that's that deal. Okay.
I mean, it's potential to save almost 300 grand.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a no-brainer.
it's a chance, and right now a year isn't gonna make any difference. I mean,
Right.
6 more months won't make any difference.
Right.
And they think we'll get more contractors bidding too.
Well, that's the key there, to make the price come down.
So. Okay, just to give you an update on the CDs. We have invested our CDs in the WIF funds. And Stacy and Robert, thank you, Robert, worked with myself and John Winkle to offer suggestions and make sure that everything was done correctly. And, you know, especially with the WIF funds, we have to be so careful of how we handle those. So Stacy did a great job of figuring everything out, and I appreciate it. And then John met Stacy at Bremer yesterday and withdrew the money and then signed the checks for the cashier checks. And I just wanted, rather than Stacy and I sign, I wanted Stacy and a board member to sign, so that a little more transparent. The budget, I continue to work on the budget and the numbers are coming in. I'm still waiting for some insurance numbers. I'll start working on flows and surcharge and that stuff right after the 1st of December, when the billing comes in. Working on East Cooch contract. Any other accounts that, you know, are so last minute, especially it's in our income accounts. In December, we'll present the final budget, and that will be the third reading, and that will be for the board to approve or disapprove, but hopefully you'll approve of it. So that's all I have in my director's report this time.
Any questions of our director?
That next budget meeting, do you wanna know when it is? When is it?
14th.
Yep, 14th, at 9 a.m.
Do we have to have another budget meeting? Or can that be at the regular meeting?
No, we have to have another budget meeting to go over all the income and the changes that I've made, so.
Okay, that'll
then-
be the third meeting, the third
That'll be the
reading?
third meeting, and then you can recommend to the board, our changes and the budget.
Okay, what's the date now, then again?
December 14th at 9 a.m.
And that's a Wednesday.
Okay,
Okay, moving down the agenda, new hire update.
well, you've seen the job description and the HR minutes in your packet. I've done radio advertising I've done print advertising. Kita put it on their website, and KCC TV has it on theirs, so thank you for that. The timeline is they have till December 9th to apply, and then on the 14th, the interview team will go through the applications or resumes, and then on the 21st and 22nd of December, we plan to do interviews. And hopefully have, then that person is gonna have to accept or deny and, physicals and things that we have in our policy manual that they'll have to follow before they can start working. So we're hoping maybe early February.
When was the interview? What date was the interview?
The interviews will be December 21st and 22nd. And the interviewing team will be Brian and Walt, Greg, myself, and then we asked each coach to appoint someone, and Don will be appointing himself, so that will be our interviewing team.
I can't believe we can't get them done on the 21st.
And we maybe can't.
We're not gonna interview all of them, we're going through them and then pick out the ones we wanna interview.
Yeah. We've had 3 people interested, so.
So far.
It's being so close to Christmas, it's not gonna be a problem, is it?
I don't know, we'll find out.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, John Harrison's interview all those years ago was like the 23rd of December too.
Wow.
I was just gonna say
They want a
something
job.
crazy.
I'm sorry.
They want a job, they'll interview.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to come up with interview questions right now. I went to Minnesota Rural Water Association to see what they had. They really didn't have anything, so I reached out to their communication person to see if she could help me out a little bit. And then I Googled some on the internet, so I'm trying to come up with interviewing questions. But if any board member has questions,
I think
send them to me.
I think Greg should be part of that too, as far as questions. What kind of questions would you like to see answered from a potential employee?
Yeah, we'll come up with some.
Yeah,
Get them to Callie.
Huh?
Get them to her.
Yeah.
because I looked at the questions that John had when he interviewed, but they're, it tells you everything that's in your resume. I mean, there's really no questions related to our plant and this specific position that person is applying for. So.
I think the main thing is the flexibility thing, part of it.
Yeah.
Right on.
So.
I think you covered everything under old business.
Except
FEMA.
FEMA update.
FEMA update?
I sent a whole packet of information yesterday. Greg's been doing a lot of digging and work, and I as well had to put together a letter on why we use so much chemicals and why it's outside of the time slot that they're giving us for the flood, because we treated high water before, and then we held water that needed to be treated afterwards. And so I got that all sent out yesterday, and now Greg is going to be working on overtime hours and regular hours, right?
Yep.
What about replacement of equipment that was wrecked during the flood that we sent to FEMA?
Yeah, that's been submitted, so now we just gotta wait and see.
We got nothing on that? No news?
Huh? No news, nothing yet, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't hear anything for a long time yet.
Yeah.
And we have to, for us, we have to also submit a claim to our insurance to see if the insurance will cover any of it. So I had to put another packet together for the insurance, and I got that sent out yesterday too. So we filed an insurance claim and we filed with FEMA. So we'll see what
FEMA
happens.
won't do nothing until the insurance comes back.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
right.
Do we have a update from Jason?
We did
No.
that.
We just already did that.
Okay.
Callie, do you want your minutes approved? Your HR committee
Oh,
minutes or
HR.
not?
Sure, we should probably do that.
I'll move on it.
I'll second that.
This being an official committee meeting, do we have to have a quorum? There was only 2 people attending is that a quorum of this committee?
No, it's not a quorum, but they didn't approve anything.
We're just proving the minutes right
We're
now.
approving the minutes right now.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the minutes. Any further questions? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. So ordered. Under new business, anything to come before this committee?
I'd like to just kind of touch on the changes on the bridging plan.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
mean, just so that it's in our minutes,
Mhm.
that the city has worked with Callie and the engineer with changing the bridging plans to, from, in the bridging plan, there was a spot where there was gonna be, next year, I think it was gonna be some lining of some pipes and they took,
CIPP.
they wanted to change that and do all the sump pump inspections in town, all of them. Rather than 100 each year, they want to do all of them. And that was okayed by the 2 Jasons and everybody. So that's kind of the plan that we're going ahead with through the city, is going to inspect all foundation drainages in town. So that'll be that'll be about 20. There's about 2,500 left yet. We've done 200 is all. We did South Falls this year. 40% compliance is what they found out there. Haven't got the report yet. He's going to get that to us this next week. But anyway, that's kind of the plan. Just changed now within the last week or so, right?
So is,
Did they-
But only 40% compliant?
Yeah.
Wow.
Out of 100 that they checked. So
how's the city gonna do everything in 1 year?
it's going to be contracted to a company that's all they do. All they do is sump pump inspections.
Who are you talking about when you say they? Who wants you to do this particular task?
That was come up with Jason and
Bolton and.
Bolton and Mink. Thought that would be a better place to start, because figuring out that's probably where most of our I&I is coming from. We want to know what it's like there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Because if we're going to wait 25 years, do 100 each year, that's not feasible. I mean, it maybe won't get done, and Jason said yesterday at a meeting that it maybe won't get totally done next year, but between next year and early 24 it will get done. Our 100 inspections that Woodseth did for us, we got to do all over again. We got no report from them. There was so many places they went into, and all they said was undetermined. And so, if we can't get a proper inspection, there's no sense doing an inspection.
How can the city authorize an outside company to go into a private residence for an inspection?
It'll be all advertised. That's what they've done on the other ones. I've gone through them. Who else is going to do it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not.
these guys do it. These guys do it. They do it as a business, and they are getting out. They get out the notifications. Everybody will get notified of when it's going to get done, and they're going to be.
But the city has to authorize these people to do that.
Yeah.
If you give one
They are.
resident to say no, and you get a court case, it throws out everything.
I think in your bylaws or whatever, there's probably something in there in your,
There's bylaws in there that they have the right to come in and check your,
Yeah, right.
your floor drain.
a duly appointed inspector from the city.
Yeah.
It's all
No,
directed
done.
by the MPCA.
Yeah, it's directed by the government, it's
Yeah,
not directed by the
it's part of the
city.
schedule of compliance, so.
It can't be, I mean, we've gotta follow what they tell us we gotta do, and this is what we gotta do. So, kinda like paying taxes, you don't have no choice there either.
If you're providing the service, you have the right to inspect it.
So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out, because I'm curious too, because I think that's gonna be, not kind of surprised by, from everybody. And if you have a system where you can turn it on in, outside for the summer and off and down in the sewer for the winter, that doesn't comply either. It goes outside and that's it, period. Other than businesses have that option, or not an option, but they have
Even
to.
changing piping and inside
No.
the residence.
No, you cannot do that. It's got to go outside. and Ted was at the meeting. Ted had mentioned that since they got those 100 done, there's been a whole bunch of Gopher State 1 calls in South Falls, and he wants to find out, and a lot of them were a drainage pipe to the curb, trench to this. And so just to see what the people are, he wants to know if that person was inspected and that's why they're doing it, or people are doing it because inspection's coming.
Good.
I suppose you've looked in to see if there's any funding, any grants or anything like that for
That wasn't brought up, but we did have some funding slips that we handed out on the Woodset. I think on both of them there was, but it's an income-based funding, so there's some funding there. It's I didn't think of that again until afterwards, because it's kind of surprised me that you're going to do all of them. But then I was going to check on that today to make sure that we can find something. Hopefully,
Duluth, when they did it down in Duluth, they had this program, and I think that a maximum was $5,000 that the homeowner could get from where. I can't remember where this money came
from
from.
what they had to do. From what I understand, they didn't get through half of them, and the money's gone.
Yeah.
Because it was so many.
Yeah.
So if they find a violation and they ask the people to correct it, is this company gonna come back in and re-inspect?
They'll have to turn in when they have corrected it, and if they haven't corrected it, they can't turn it in, then they'll be inspecting again, I suppose, We'll find out why. I mean,
with this 100 inspections that were made, only 40% of them were,
we're in compliance.
my God.
Yeah, well,
They're gonna go through
even
my
as late as back in the 70s and 80s, people were hooking it up where they could turn it on and off.
Yeah.
They could go winter, summer.
You're going through my neighborhood, there's gonna be every single one of them, I think, because I'm hooked directly, I don't even have a choice of pumping it out, it's hooked right directly, the drain tile comes around, and there's a pit about this big around, and you can see down there where the water goes down, and there's a trap there, and it goes into sanitary sewer. Done.
That's just the way they did it back then. That's the way it was.
The problem we got now, so. That's just an update there. That'd be something that everybody here should know. So.
The company thinks they can do it all in one summer?
He said they could do it, they aren't waiting for summer, they don't have to wait for summer.
They don't?
No, you can go down there and you can find out right away if it's in compliance or not. By just checking the basement. There's no sump pit down there. You're not in compliance. You either got a floor drain that drains directly into it and no pit, or you got, like I got a pit and it runs into it. So either way you can tell. But there's one thing that's gonna be, that I'm kinda curious what's gonna happen, is what's gonna happen when all the water's running on the street this time of year. Because a lot of sump pumps still run yet, in Stenberg and some of those areas, they still got wet basements and still wet. And there's gonna be water pumping
That's not.
all over.
Yeah.
Say,
That or skating rinks in their yards, right?
Mr. Chairman, I got one question. about, I thought Jason was gonna stay on there, but maybe Greg knows this one. Now, what do they have planned for the EQ? They would rather have us pump, put in larger pump capacity and send it out here to the plant.
Yep.
So what's,
Bigger motors in order to try to stay ahead of it, keep the tank level down lower, as low as we can. Try to, you know,
were they gonna, are they gonna use that gravity line as a force main or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's big
Bigger
enough?
motors, keep the tank level lower for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But then we gotta, you know, watch it here and what's coming from the west end.
Wow. Did they do some studies on it or something, or on capacity, this and that and the other thing?
Well, we've been doing all these flow meter,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
results that we sent to them. But it's the I&I that's gotta get tightened up on, you know.
Any other questions? There being none, with funds to be transferred for, oh, I'm sorry. Walt, do you have anything
Nope.
further?
No, that's it. That's just for your information. Nothing.
With funds to be transferred for October's $10,999. And our next meeting is Tuesday, December 20th at 8 a.m. Anything else to come before this committee? Nothing? Meeting adjourned.